So hi there, welcome to this week's channel update. I'm going to explain today how I've managed to get an extra day's modelling. I'm going to tell you why I've sacked Scott. And 5 minutes ago I've received this slightly heavier than usual parcel, but I'll tell you after I've gone and fed the cats. So hello there, welcome to this week's channel update. It is currently Saturday 1 o'clock. I've just woken up. Don't judge me on that one, I will come to that. So I am just over a day ahead. I'm off work today, but I'll be working when you're watching this. So what's been happening? So first of all, I was just sitting down to do the weekly update and this parcel arrived, and I probably shouldn't be telling you now because there's not really a lot of room to do the unboxing. So this is the ET. It has come with, I will explain all of this on the video. We have got 6 stages, 6 magazines, and we have got dun 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 a little ET mug, and it is little. It seems little because this is my mug that I'm using at the moment. I don't know. I'm gonna put some water in and measure. I don't normally do odd cups, but the odd cups don't fit in my kitchen cabinet very well. So, but I'm actually trying to reduce the number of cups that I have because this might sound really crazy. In my cupboard, I have a nice little slot for exactly 6 mugs. They just fit in perfect in my little wall cabinet, and then that gives me room for other things. And I actually have 7, maybe 8 mugs, plus I have the Infinity Gauntlet mug, and now I've got this ET mug, so I have like 1 mug sitting spare. Now I was thinking of having hooks underneath the cabinet so I can just have my regular cups, and then of course I've got a cup for let me go and get it. I love this mug. So, apologies. So yes, I got her a mug. When she used to come round to do the cats, she used to regularly use my Celtic mug. Now, I don't know why I got Celtic mug. I've never really declared, I like Celtic, but I've never really declared myself as a big, in fact this is it here. I've never really declared myself as a big Celtic fan, and due to age, things breaking, etc. I actually own more Celtic mugs than I do Wickham mugs, but on top of that, she's a Rangers fan. Isn't that like asking a Man City fan to drink out of a Man United mug? So I bought her this mug, and this is exclusively her mug, and I absolutely love it. And there seems to be a bit of reflection going on. Sometimes amazing people forget how amazing they are. This is your reminder. And I think it's absolutely so appropriate for her, because the things she do for my cats, things she do for me, I mean, I don't ask her to help for me, although she does. I am, as far as I'm concerned, she's here only for the cats. But she goes so above and beyond. And this month I've tried to pay her. The deal that I have is I pay her monthly, regardless of how much she does. Now, if I was going to London for 3 weeks, and that 3 weeks falls completely within the month, then she's getting paid a month's money for 3 weeks work. But then if I was in Kilmarnock for 3 weeks, and that 3 weeks falls within the whole month, she's getting the same amount of money for a week, which I don't have an issue with that because I'm paying her a flat fee. Now, I've not done any Londons for over a month, so her payment for last month is for no work at all. Now, a deal's a deal. And I've said to her, like, here's your money. She's like, I don't want your money. So we've kind of adjusted the deal, but that's how lovely she is. So yeah, that's for her. I mean, she's already seen it, she's already used it loads of times. But yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that I could send this mug out to, and it would be 100% appropriate. I'm going to name 2 off the top of my head: Scott from Building with the Boys, and Peter Webster, to name just a few. The reason I mentioned Scott is, you know, when you do things for people and it may not seem much effort to you, but it's the absolute world to them. And there's been a couple of times me and Scott has been on the phone, and he may think the same thing as I do, but he may just think, well, it's just a little phone call. But do you know what? Sometimes that's the difference between sanity and insanity, and sometimes he just kept me on the right side. Anyway, that's going a little bit too deep. So talking of Scott, I mentioned that I'm sacking him. I'm not really sacking him, but I'm going to be changing the format of the Lancaster. As I've been watching the Lancaster being built, and I've been building mine, it's been very difficult, but I've been resisting the urge to buy my own Hachette one. Now, at the end of the day, I don't need 2 very good models of the exact same aircraft, but it's been an absolute joy to build. And I can't remember what I've spoken about with the Lancaster. I do apologise, guys, if I've spoken about this before, then I'm sorry. There was a little incident last week where Part Work Upgrades decide they're winding down. So they will fulfill all the orders they've done. They've had a bit of a backlash from it. They will fulfill all orders that have been placed, and anything that they say that they're still selling, if you buy, you will receive. That I trust Part Work Upgrades. But there will be no new product lines coming out, and that includes the power pack for the Lancaster. Now, anyone who builds Part Works will know that generally they're powered by batteries. If you want to get a power pack, that just saves you changing the batteries. And there's been a few people have been quitting their builds on the Lancaster because they think there's going to be no way to power it. There's been a couple of messages going around the Facebook group, and people are getting the impression they won't power up the Lancaster. Now, a lovely chap called Mike Stratton, he's decided to sell up, not just because of the power pack, but also because he's not happy with the build anymore. So I pounced on that, and we've struck a deal. It's one of those deals where he probably thinks he's ripped me off, and I think I've ripped him off. So therefore that's a fair deal. So let's switch cameras and I'll show you exactly what I've got. Can I show you what I've got? There we go. So this is what I've got. So I have purchased from him the Lancaster built up to and including, I believe, issue 34, and then the next 4 or 5 issues have been purchased from the Lancaster the Hachette shop. So we have got, I haven't had a really good look at this. Apparently there are problems with it, build problems. This is the propeller. This is this the wing support, I think, because that looks like the wing there, and it looks really nice. Do you know what, I remember talking about this on camera, but I can't remember where I spoke about. I can't find it. That looks to me like the toilet, so that's got to be part of the inside again. That looks like the railing for the ammo. I don't know. You know, I don't know that much about the Lancaster. This is the inside. There's the bomb rack. Now you won't see this when it's done because you'll have the flaps open. But it's nice that they've actually done that bit. They could have just left that silver. And then the obvious piece de resistance. You've got the cockpit, and I still hate that seatbelt. I'm sorry, that is so ugly, that is horrible, but it's really, really nice. The only issue I've got, and I might buy another issue, I might not, you've got the little bits inside the cockpit and they've been super glued in. Let me yeah, look, in the middle of the camera you've got the clouding. In fact, it might even look like he's tried to scratch it out. I don't know. So I might buy the canopy glass, but if I've got to buy the canopy again, I might have to buy those pieces. We'll see. We'll have a look. We'll see how much it bothers me. And there's the cockpit. Is that meant to be loose at this point? I'm not actually sure. And you can see that the fitting isn't brilliant there. However, once it's all screwed together, will that pull that in a bit more? And I've got a feeling that once that's pulled in, this canopy, yeah, I think this canopy is going to fit a lot better. This is not a good fit, but then you can clearly see that's not fitting there. But I do think that once it's all fitted together, and here is my main fear that I've always had of the Lancaster. You can see that when you look at the metal pieces and the plastic pieces, there isn't a good colour match. So ideally you want to be getting in there and maybe modifying that. It looks nice, but I think that's going to be a drawback of that. And then there's this spare piece that's come from somewhere, I have no idea where. So these are all gone back in the box nice and carefully. And then he sent me another, it's a little loom band box. It's actually a dividing box, whatever you want to call it, with a box with dividers. And it's full of small parts that haven't been fully assembled yet. So there's a little bit of a modeller's paradise in there. We've even got the spare screws. Oh good, I was just saying to someone the other day, I hope he's still got the blocks for the propellers, which he has. This is the engine that he's been working on. That's looking rather nice. And this is where it gets, he said there was a problem with the guns, but I think he said he bought a replacement part. I'm not sure. So there's the gun, a gun. I've got to spend some time and look at all of this. We've got what looks like a battery test box, and there's a piece of packing material, and this is where it gets even better. Although he sent me up to issue 34, he hasn't actually built from issue 22 onwards. So look, this one's not even opened. So that's the pieces for stage 22. We've got 23, we've got 24. Now 24 even has the free pliers with it. How cool is that? I mean, I've got a pair of pliers, but not everyone has pliers, so it's nice when you get them. And it's nice when someone who's selling you something second hand provides them. Nice wheels. I'll do some comparisons with the wheels, because there's the Hong Kong wheels, and looking at it from this angle, the Hong Kong looks a little tiny bit bigger, but I probably won't be able to tell you properly until they're assembled. So that's all good. Issue 25, that looks a small one. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Now 35, 36, 37, 38, and possibly 39. I'm going to have to check my emails. I actually ordered them on Wednesday, and I held off till Wednesday because Wednesday is when the new issues come out, and I've ordered 35 onwards. So bear with me. Right, Hachette 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So I've ordered 5 issues, so they will be with me. Now what I find with the Hachette shop is they say it's about 2 weeks from their dispatch day that you receive the issues. When you buy from the shop, I've found, and not always, it's round about a week. So I think I will be getting these parts before the next weekly update. I wouldn't be surprised. So that is the Lancaster. So obviously what's going to happen is with the Lancaster, I'm not going to need building with the boys builds, which is a shame, but it isn't, because it's nice when I can do it. And I think with relying on him, it's always going to put pressure on everybody. You know, we've not had the issues. Scott's had his own problems, internet and flooding of wrestling rings and this, that and the other, and I think this would take a bit of pressure off him as well. So I'm going to end up with a model which I don't know what I'm going to do with. Do I need 2 models of the same subject? But as most of you guys probably know, I'm all about the building more than the actual model. So I would probably be happy to not have it anymore. Right, so let's get on with the YouTube schedules, and I'll tell you where I'm up to. Now, as you may know, I'm down to 1 monitor. I need to pull up my spreadsheet, so I might not be looking directly at you, and I really hate that angle, but that's the way it is. So tomorrow, I haven't uploaded them yet, but I have the video ready, and that's RoboCop issue 43 and 44. Excuse me, guys. I don't know why I get hiccups when I'm making a video. It's really weird. So that will be the right thigh stages 8 and 9, and then obviously next week will be ET. Now what I'm going to do with the ET is I'm going to split that into four stages. Six issues split into 4 stages. The reason I'm going to do that is that will take me up to Christmas time, and then that will be it for the ET for this year. Once Christmas hits and I'm starting to plan the relaunch, not really a relaunch, but my channel starting again, I can then have a look at what part works I've got, and I can work out how to take the channel with the ET. So I'm kind of slowing it down. So what I've just shown you box wise will be my last ETs for 2024. I'm also waiting on, I'm waiting on 1 more pack of RoboCops, and that will be my last RoboCops for the year. So Tuesday, I've had to change the Warhammer just a little bit. I don't know if it's because I haven't had the time, or whatever, but issue 32 I'm going to have to split into 3. I started painting, and it just took up so much time to paint just the 6, so I'm halfway through painting. So I've released what I've got, and then I'll finish off the magazine next week, and I'll play that by merit on every issue. So it might now actually be 3 videos per issue. It might be 1. Obviously I will get as much done as I can. It might well be that what's slowing me down is that I'm so far behind because of the computer breakdown. When I was in full flow, I was actually working 2 or 3 weeks ahead, and it was a really good place to be in, because if I had a video that took a long time, I would end up losing a bit of time, but then invariably there'd be another video that is quite quick to produce, and then that would send me ahead. and because I've lost the time with the computer and I'm actually hitting a few slow issues, sorry, when I say slow issues, I mean issues that are taking a long time to produce, not an awful lot. I'm literally working on next week's videos this week. So we'll see how it goes. I'll do my absolute best. So talking about working on next week's videos, next Wednesday is the next issue of the bus. Now I've already had to reduce the amount of work I'm going to do because I'm priming. I was going to do priming and painting. Now I've not even finished doing it. I've got Tuesday off. This is what I'm up to. I've tried the ochre primer. It's made an absolute mess up here where the glue is, so it's going to need more sanding work. It's not even covered. I put a little bit of paint in there and it's not even covered the paint, so I'm probably going to give up on the primer and then go back to my regular primer. And look at the finish it's given me there. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. I'll see if I can grab the overhead camera. So no, you still can't, but down here it looks bloody awful. So whether that's my sanding, I don't know. So yeah, so there's a lot more work having to be done on that. And as most of you know, if you don't get your prep and your priming done properly, the whole thing's going to look absolutely terrible. So I am working on that. Then we have got the Thursday. So in the previous issue we fixed the window and we did the filler. So that went really well. So last Thursday we had the Gauntlet issue, Premium Base 5. Now we have received a new pack of Gauntlet and I am so unhappy. I'm waiting for someone else's opinions to get back to me because I know they'll be fuming, because I am. So what's happened is, as you know, issue 70 didn't come ages ago, but that directly affects 70, 71, 72, which is a panel on the side. And I thought, okay, no problems, I'll build the finger and hopefully it's sorted out before the finger. So I've had 75 and 76 sat here from the last pack, deciding whether to do the finger in one big build or whether to split it down, whether to do one magazine, a video, or 2 or 3. And then what I've done is I've received the pack, the latest pack. I received the Premium Base 6, which I can get on with. It is missing issue 77. So what's happened is I am absolutely fuming. They can't tell me when the parts will arrive. 70 was supposed to arrive with this pack, but that's not arrived. It's been 2 or 3 months since 70 was missing. The whole thing's meant to be finished by December, and it looks like it might be another 3 months. That's my words there, not theirs. It could be I don't even have any more parts until December. And the reason I say that is it's now October. If it's been 2 or 3 months since we've been missing issue 70, then by that standard, does that mean it's going to be 2 or 3 months before we even get 77, which is October, November, December, January. So we may not even get new parts until the build was meant to be finished. And it's the finger stage 2. So I have produced issue 75 and 76, and that will be coming out Thursday. And then the following week is Gauntlet Premium Base Part 6, and I have suspended my build with Fan Home. I've told them I am not happy paying you money to receive parts that I cannot build because you haven't fulfilled your promise of the experience. So once 70 and 77 arrive, both of them, then I will continue my subscription with them and I will continue the build because I can't finish the finger. So what is the point? So There are 2 more videos for the Gauntlet. I have no idea how long it will be stocked for. So the Friday we will have Lancaster stage 11 or video 11. I am currently working on stage 15. I've changed the plan ever so slightly. What I've done is I've done stage 13, which is the front of the fuselage. That was last week, or the week just gone. And then the next stage is to do the opposite side of the front fuselage. Then you do the back of one fuselage and then the back end of the other. Then you glue the 2 halves together, then the 2 halves of the other side, then you put them together. So what I've decided to do is I've done the nose, I'm then doing the corresponding rear fuselage, then I'll glue them together, and then I'll do all the weathering. But then I've decided I'm going to do an experiment. Should I have painted them then put them together, or should I glue them together then paint them? So when I come to do the opposite side of the fuselage, I'm going to glue the 2 pieces of fuselage together first, then I'm going to put all the bits in and paint them, and we'll see which one comes out better, and that will take us all the way to beginning of November, when I weather the inside of the fuselage. That gives me 3 more weeks, 3 more weeks until Christmas. So I thought we'll paint the Navigator model, a figure, and I'll show you a little bit of aftermarket that I've bought. I'm being a little bit clever, I like to think. And then one last week we are going to do the show and tell on the Hachette. It means that there will be no score for the Hong Kong, there will be no progress made, but I'll show you that. And then there'll be the break for Christmas for 4 weeks, and then the Lancaster will return in January, and then hopefully we'll have that art scale instrument panel. That leaves us with Saturday, where Saturday is just Saturday. If I can get some content out on the scale models, then I will. To be perfectly honest with you, I doubt very much there will be anything coming out before Christmas. I'm having enough trouble getting the scheduled content out, so to do extra content is pushing impossible. Right, so what has happened this week? I am an unfit person. I have absolutely no issues telling you that. I don't exercise enough, and I might have mentioned before that I've been here where I'm living now. I've been here for about 4 years. And a big hello to everybody that knew me before I came to Glasgow. I can't believe I've been here 4 years, and that means our friendship is much older than that. So apart from work and bus routes, I really don't know the area, and I'm almost ashamed of that. And so I said to my friend, I said, I really want to go out and visit places more, and I'm going to take a little bit of a cut because I need to blow my nose. I'm still just getting rid of this cold. La 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 la. Isn't having an unblocked nose such an underrated experience? Oh, cat's destroying the house. So I've really not been anywhere in 4 years, and I've moved to this most beautiful place in the UK. So we're starting to try to arrange days out. The other week we went to see East Kilbride play, and that was a really good day out, even though we lost. Now last week, not the week just gone, the one before, we were supposed to be going to the Korean War Memorial, and then we were going to go to the Scottish Owl Centre. I think that was Thursday. That would have been round about Thursday the end of September. I can't work out dates with 30 and 31 in my head. But it never happened because I was ill. I got this cold, flu, not quite man flu. It's not quite that strong. Thank the Lord I didn't get man flu, because I don't know if I'd be around now. I've seen men get man flu. and if I ever got that. So yeah, that didn't happen. So this this whatever the day was, Wednesday, I was supposed to be off Wednesday and Thursday, so I had me Wednesday off and I got quite a lot of modelling done. And yeah, I did get quite a lot done, and the areas where I just had a little bit of modeller's block and wasn't able to do anything, I was able to get some Robocops done because the Robocop arrived, so that was good. But then the Thursday morning we went out to the Korean War Memorial, which is very nice. Now I thought it was a big old massive walk, so we decided to walk all the way round, and oh my god, there are some hills. I would call them mountains because I come from Norfolk, which is flat, but anyone from Scotland would probably say no, they're small hills, and they probably are, but it was some good walking. And if you lived in that area and you had a couple of dogs, it would be really good dog walking territory, really good. But the consequence is that that was a couple of days ago, and my calves are killing me because they're just not used to the exercise. So I need to get out more, even if it's just walking down to the shopping centre. At least it's a walk. But we had a good time. But it turns out we did do the Korean War Memorial, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's got the names of everybody who died. It's got some park benches that have got been dedicated to people who fought in the Korean War but survived it, but they've now died through old age, you know. There's someone on there, he would have been 98 when he died, and so he would have been 100 now, and he died like 2 years ago, so that was a little bit sad. And it tells you all the units that they were from, and apparently it's the only dedicated Korean War Memorial in the UK. So if you ever come up to Scotland, I would definitely recommend it. The weather was nice for what we did. It was quite humid. It was that kind of weather where it wasn't raining, but you're a little bit damp. It's like it's ready to rain, perhaps, or it was just like, you know how you imagine early morning in the Yorkshire Mountains. That's how the weather was, and it was really nice. It was coat weather, but not too cold, and we were dry, and you needed a good pair of walking boots because it was a little bit slippery on the grass. And then we then went on to the Scottish Owl Centre. We got to the Owl Centre, parked up in the car park. I checked my messages, and the work was saying, would you like to do an overnight London? And I really couldn't say no. And because I was supposed to work Friday, Saturday and then Sunday, and then I was going into work that evening, they cancelled my Aberdeen runs Friday, Saturday. So what I've done is I've switched 2 days work from there to there. I don't know how I'm visualising it with my hands, but I'm kind of visualising with a calendar from there to there. So I've now done my 2 days. So I've not gained any hours. I've gained a slightly higher rate of pay, and I've done something more enjoyable. And I've now just come home. I got home about 8:30, and I intended to have a couple of hours sleep because I've not slept last night, and I ended up waking up. What is it now? It's currently 20 to 2, so I've been up about 3/4 of an hour, and then I've got an Aberdeen run to do tomorrow. So that means tonight, all this afternoon, I've got modelling time, and I will be honest with you, I wouldn't have got any modelling done on the Thursday because with the Scottish Owl Centre, by the time my friend come round for a coffee, etc., it probably would have been late. So I've managed to squeeze in some extra modelling time. So that's good. So I've just had a 2-day trip overnight to London, working with another driver who I've never worked with him before. Absolute joy to work with. We were just sort of working it out amongst ourselves on how to work with each other. The unfortunate business is that he will not be wanting to do any more Londons, for the pure reason that in the buses, the crew cab isn't the most comfortable place in the world, and this guy is 6'4" with big legs, and he's quite wide. I won't say fat because he's big built. And he was just so uncomfortable when he wasn't driving. And he says, I'm not going to be able to do this. But he did the job well, and I was happy to work with him. We did have a little bit of a moan with another driver. When you hand the coach over to drivers, there are drivers that like to complain about me, and they like to keep the details vague enough that the other people in the group are like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, think Facebook. But these are grown men acting like the teenage girls, and they're like, oh, what's up, hun? Oh, PM me. Oh, that's terrible. Oh. And all it was we I'm no good at loading luggage, and I'll try and get the other driver to do the luggage, and this guy, having never done London's before, he's no good at luggage either. So the luggage wasn't done exactly how the people we took over from would have liked it. We also have 4 premium seats in the cab, in the bus. We have seats 1A and 1B, and then 1C, 1D. They're obviously double seats. Now, a person had booked 1A, another person had booked 1B, and then there was another booking for 1C and D. It was a party of 2. The 2 guys for 1A and 1B had turned up, and the ones for 1C and 1D didn't show up. So they've lost their money because they didn't cancel. They just didn't show. They missed the coach. Now, one of the guys said to me nicely, can I sit there? Because it's not a lot of room here, and then we can have 2 seats each. Now, I wouldn't move anyone from a non-premium seat into a premium seat. But I was moving him. He's asking to move from premium seat to a premium seat. And I said, yeah, you can sit there, but if that seat gets rebooked along the way, you're going to have to go back to your original seat. Well, that was wrong, wasn't it? The other driver was like, whoa, passengers sat all over the place. And the other one we had a good 10 free seats on the coach, and we had someone that had missed an earlier bus. And I was talking to the coordinators at Victoria, and we agreed to let them travel. And we let them travel. We could have said no because they missed their coach, but we do try to get people moving, and that was wrong. So, but then I spoke to my managers, and they said, no, you've done the right thing. You've tried to deliver a level of customer service, and yeah, that's how it is. So that's ruined my not ruined, but that's put a dampener on my London run. But do you know what? At the end of the day, I'm there to go and do a job. I'll do the job as best I can, and as long as I get paid for it, I'm happy. So yeah, that's it. That's done. So yeah, that's been my week. So coming up next week, tomorrow you've got the Robocop right thigh parts 8 and 9. They need to be uploaded today or tomorrow. Well, yesterday or today. You've got the Moonclad Shooters on Tuesday, which is Warhammer 32 Part 2. You've got the Okra Beta bus on the Wednesday. Now that will be this. That is currently unfinished. If I don't get it done this afternoon, I'll hopefully get it done on Tuesday. And I will show you whatever I've got. We have got the Gauntlet issue 75-76 on the Thursday. That's definitely coming. That's been filmed. That needs to be uploaded. We have got the Lancaster Stage 15. Now I will show you. This is where we are at the moment. We've got this piece. We've got this piece that needs to be done a different colour, hence it's separate. And this piece, 2 pieces that need to be done a different colour, hence they're on a stick. They need to be primed and left. So they are my high priority for today, yesterday. I need to get them primed. and then on Tuesday they will get finished. And it's one of those things where I need to do a little bit and then I need to leave it, and then I do a little bit. I mean, you can't see this, but there's a piece there that's glued in. As per the last video, if I'm going to glue a green piece onto a green piece, or a black piece onto a black piece, I'll actually glue it on pre-painting, and then I'll just paint the whole lot. I can't see the point in doing two pieces the same colour, then glue them on, and then risk losing the paint because of the glue. So that should be done, and then that takes us to next Saturday, where we've got nothing planned, and then the 13th of October, where I have got a day off. No, right, so I'm off next Saturday and Sunday. I'm asking for overtime for the Sunday because he's given me 3 days off in a week, and I don't want 3 days off in a week. I want Tuesday off, I want Saturday off, I don't want the Sunday off. I could work the Tuesday, but that's not going to fit in with me doing my models. So next week expect a channel update that's been made on a Saturday. Then it gets really complicated because my days off haven't come out how I want them to come out. I've got Tuesday and Wednesday off the following week. Then the week after I've got Monday and Thursday and Friday off. Why he's given me 3 days off, I don't know. But then the 26th and 27th I'm on holiday. So if I don't work any extra days, I will have a 4-day week. Now, because I'm on holiday 2 days in the week, I actually wanted to work a 5-day week at work, then my 2 days holiday, so then I get paid for 7 days for doing 5 days for 2 days 5 days work, get paid 7. Then the following week I'm on holiday for 5 days, and then I want to work my last 2 days, which is Saturday, Sunday. So again, I'll then get paid 7 days for working 2 days. So I will get paid 14 days for 7 days work. And then the week after, November, is, I seem to have a lot of time off. I don't think I've done that properly. But yeah, so I'm probably going to try and ask him to rejiggle my days off and work some of my days off and have days off, because the problem I have is I can only work 6 days before I have to have 2 days off. Sometimes they can be split. So if you have 4 days on working and then you have 2 days off, you can only work 6 days. But if you work 2 extra days and then had 2 days off, now you can work the next 6, so you've crammed an extra couple of days in. It's all a little bit complicated. It's one of those things that if you do it, if it's in your head and you do it every day, it makes sense. And trying to explain to someone, I'll probably be easier explaining Swahili to you, unless you're actually a driver and you don't. It's one of those things you have to do every day. I'm not trying to insult you guys, but if it's, if some of you guys explained your work to me, you'd be going, oh, it's really, really simple, and I'd be like, I don't get it. I have no idea what you're talking about. Some people explain their jobs. It's like when you're buying things, that's simple enough. I don't know the ins and outs of buying, but I get the principle. So yes, right, so let's continue talking about Christmas. Christmas on my channel will now begin Sunday the 1st of December. That will start with a mystery crime advent calendar. I have now filmed 4 episodes of that. I'm trying to see what I've done with the box. I keep moving things and I keep losing them. I can see them. So we have filmed 4 episodes of that. And I want to try and get... And again, it's a really good, handy thing because I'm focusing on the models, because the models are coming out in October and the advent calendar's not coming out till December. But You know what it's like, you're doing some modelling and you're like, oh, I just can't get anything else done. Right, fine, let's get a couple of advent calendars done. I have started on the first 12 days of Airfix starter sets, but I've not finished it and I've come to a bit of a block. And what I might actually do, it's just come out so long. I think stages 1 and 2 I've done, and it's over an hour, and I've still got another 10 stages to do. So what I might actually do is just carry on filming it with no voice, just put it on mute, just film it and get on with it, and I'll do some mass editing excuse me, and I'll just do voiceover, which is how I want to do my scale model videos, and so it'll be good practice, and that's probably the format that I'm going to use for it. It is really hard to do because I'm using Airfix paints and I'm brush painting. I don't like I'm not great at brush painting large areas, and I don't like Airfix paints, but it's the first starter set, so I want to use it out of the box. I will be adding techniques as I go along, but I think video 1, I think it's going to put newbies off if I go, right, get your airbrush, get this, and I bought this aftermarket, and I've got this specialist tool, and they're going to be like, well, if I ain't got that, I can't build it, can I? And I just want to know how I build my first ever kit that I got for Christmas. So I'm trying to keep the first one simple. So yes, so that's not going to turn out awesome, I'm afraid, but it will turn out. As I say, I'll just edit them down to how I want to do them on the Saturdays, but it's alright. I've got stuff to do, because I'm working ahead and I know that each of these are going to take a long time. I don't know if I'm ahead or behind, but the murder mystery is looking fun. So the 12 days of Airfix starter sets will start on the 25th of December, and the last one will go out on the 5th of January, and then my channel begins again as normal, with the Robocop. And what I've now decided I'm going to do, I said that I would draw. I'm going to be making a draw, and I wasn't sure when to do the draw, because it all depends on days off. And I think the simplest thing to do is the last day, the 12th day of Christmas is a Sunday, and my first channel update of the new year will be the 12th of January, so I might as well do the draw during the channel update. Talking of channel updates, they are going to be taking a break as well, so the 1st of December will be my last weekly update, and then the 8th, the 15th, 22nd, 29th of December and the 5th of January will all be during my Christmas shutdown. So each morning about 6 o'clock from the 1st of December, so you will get a channel update on the 1st of December. You'll get that at 6 o'clock as normal, and then 6 in the morning you will get the mystery crime advent calendar, and that will go up to Christmas Day. And then the Airfix starter sets will come out either 6 o'clock or I'll do those early morning, I don't know. And I might just pump that last one out a little bit early, because the 12th day of Christmas is the last day the first time I'll do the channel update. So you'll have a little bit of a bumper, 2 videos in one day twice, and I might do a Christmas unboxing as well. Obviously I need to get Christmas presents. So I have some news for you. This week is Amazon Prime, is it the 8th and the 9th? I'm tempted by the Gallieri offers. If you go over to Gary Stuff, he's released a video that tells you exactly when the Prime discounts will be, so please go to Gary Stuff, and he will have that for you. there is like their ultimate brush is being quite heavily reduced, and everybody keeps raving about Gallieri, and when I said I got my heart, I love from what I've got. I haven't used it enough to be able to give you a product review, but so far I absolutely love my Harder Steenbeck, and it isn't perfect, but it's perfect for what it's intended for. It's intended as a beginner airbrush, and what I'm finding I can't do is techniques which are considered intermediate or advanced. Well, it's designed as a beginner's brush, so can you complain? You know, it's like getting a go-kart for a kid and saying, well, I'm not happy with it because there's I can't take it on the racetrack, which is not designed to be put on the racetrack. So that's kind of how I feel about the airbrush. It's a wonderful airbrush, but a few people have come to me and said, oh no, try the Gallieri, and it's, to be honest with you, you've got your good airbrushes, your Harder Steenbecks, your Iwatas, etc, etc, and they're the top end and they're expensive because they're worth it. Then you've got your Chinese airbrushes. Now, your cheap Chinesium airbrushes are very cheap. They aren't as good as the top ones. I don't think they're a false economy. You know, if I said to you, this airbrush is £100 and you should get a 4 years out of it, or 5 years out of it, and then there's this one that's Chinese, it's 20 quid, but you'll only get a year out of it. Well, they're the same price then, aren't they? It's £100 for 5 years. Now, Gallieri, they come across to me as one of the better companies, and they just happen to be based in China. So they're getting this Chinese tag, and I think that's what's putting me off, the fact that they're Chinese, or they seem Chinese. But I think the easiest way to describe them is Iwata based in China. So if Iwata and Harder Steenbeck were based in China, then the cost of their airbrushes could be lower. But because they're not based in China, you automatically think of them as a higher end brand because they don't have that Chinese tag, even though the majority of stuff is made in China. And it's, you know, the top stuff is made in China, and so is the cheap crap. So maybe it's time to give them a little try. And if Amazon are going to knock 30% off a Gallieri airbrush, you know, this one I've seen, it's got all the features I want, and it looks fantastic. But Harder Steenbeck, now that I've looked at their brushes and I've looked at one, I don't think I need the better airbrushes. I think I need my beginner airbrush, which has that one feature that I really like, and then I need to upgrade some of the parts, because I will need to upgrade that nozzle at one point. So rather than going out and buying the top airbrush that they do, I think all I need to do is buy that Ultra again, and then buy an upgraded nozzle for it. I also want to get one with a smaller needle. I'm not ready for a new needle yet. I have kind of progressed backwards with the needles. I used to be quite obsessed with a 0.2 needle is better than a 0.4 because you can get finer detail with a 0.2. But as you know, airbrush nozzles, they spray like that. Now if you're using a 0.2 needle from a distance from a model, the spray pattern is going to be quite wide. Whereas if you then have a 0.4 and you use it close up and you use it correctly, you will get finer results than using a 0.2 from a distance. So I'm now starting to get rid of that hang up. Yeah, 0.4 is fine. Think about it, 0.4 millimeters. Draw a line that's 0.4 millimeters and tell me if that's a thick line. It's only thick when you compare it to something smaller, but what have you got? Now look at panel lines on aircraft. Measure them. Are they much bigger than 0.4? So yeah, I need to change my thinking a little bit. This is why I've always said, you know, I am having a hard job now saying I'm a beginner airbrush, because some of the things I know, I've got to admit I'm intermediate. I don't think I'm an expert yet, but I'm learning. So I'm definitely an intermediate, and I'm learning new things. And I'm starting to do some little techniques with this Ultra, and it's given me so much confidence. It cleans out really easily, it doesn't block so easily, but a lot of it is down to me having to know how to use it. If you don't thin your paints properly, it's going to block, because, you know, if you tried to put a golf ball through a garden hose, it's not going to fit. But if you put a golf ball through one of those pipes that they bury in the ground, it's going to go through easily. And it's the same principle with the paints. But if you thin the paint too much, you've then got to adjust your air pressure, because it's just pushing it. So it's learning all of this. And what I've kind of done with that Harder Steenbeck is I've kind of tried to wipe my mind of what I've known and kind of relearn it again. And it's producing some really good results. So maybe that's a recommendation for you guys. You know, if you want to get better at something, maybe if you're getting that plateau, maybe unlearn what you know and then relearn it, and then boom, you know, it's like if you're trying to get a car out of the mud and you can't go forwards, or sorry, out of the snow, what might do is you'll roll back, and then you'll go forwards and hit it with a bit more speed to try and get that momentum to get over a lump. And that's kind of how I'm doing airbrushing. So that's it for me now. We are getting ever closer to Halloween. I'll be honest with you, call me a miserable sod if you want. Halloween is not something I take part in. I have no problems with Halloweeners. And you know, when people when they enjoy Halloween, that's absolutely fine. But what Halloween does mean for me is you kind of go through the whole year banning the C word. You know, that time at the end of the year when everyone spends £1,000 for what is essentially one meal, a glorified Sunday dinner. And you know how it goes every year. Oh, it's ages till Christmas, it's ages till Christmas. Oh my God, Christmas is here, where did the time go? To me, Halloween has become that little gateway into Christmas. So now that we're thinking about Halloween, I'm now starting to think about Christmas. Christmas is literally round the corner. So that's what Halloween means for me. I've got a couple of presents to buy. I bought some what I call smiley presents for people. I can't show you what I've got them because some of them are YouTubers, and if I show you now they'll know what they're getting for Christmas. So I've bought some people a few presents that'll just hopefully make them smile. It's a little bit of fun stuff to do. They'll probably be too embarrassed to show their family, but once the family are gone, they'll probably go, oh, I'm going to get that present out that Penny bought me. What I'm going to get, some other people I don't know, but I am buying a present for my cat sitter. I can't say what I'm getting because she might be watching, so I'm looking forward to Amazon Prime. Does anybody know if so here's the question, right? Gary Stuff has told us when these Gallieri airbrushes will be reduced. They have little slots, so you might get like 1 till 2 on the Thursday. This has been reduced, and once 2 o'clock hits, it goes back up to full price, and then something else gets reduced in price. Is there any way of knowing what will be reduced when, if anybody knows? Because I am after something, and if it's going to be reduced for like a 2-hour slot or a 3-hour slot, I need to be around when that slot is in place. because it's quite an expensive item. And talking of expensive items, I think my printer is now on its last legs. I've been doing some I keep track of the cat feeds, and I have this little, I'm so sad, I have a little spreadsheet of when the cats have been fed and when they've eaten, and I work out roughly how many calories they eat in a day, and I printed off the spreadsheet, and look at that. That is the best quality my printer's produced. But that printer it was like 120 quid. It's just a basic Epson inkjet 3-in-1 printer. It's got a scanner, a copier, and I use the copier as quite a bit. And it's about 10 or 15 years old, so it doesn't owe me a penny. And I think that if I bought a new printer, I could give away that on the local groups, and but I also want to sort my laser printer out. I think that needs a good clean, and I've cleaned it, and it's got mucky again, and I think it's what's mucking it up is the toner cartridge. So I think it needs a new toner cartridge and a good clean. And the toners aren't that cheap. They're about £100 for the 4 of them. But the company I buy my print replacement inks from, they have the occasional sale, and they have a few 5% and 10% offs, but at some point in the year they usually do a 20% off, and because I'm going to be buying £100 worth of toners, I want to wait till the 20% off. So I want to get that sorted out. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting myself a new printer. I don't want anything too expensive, but I want something good. I'm not a professional. I don't print to a professional standard. I do mostly scanning on it. So I suppose the qualities that I'm after is it scans to a memory card, because I seem to have trouble with the Wi-Fi. It must scan to a Wi-Fi memory card. It's going to have the ability to copy, and then I'll print probably on average 1 page every fortnight or something. Right guys, so that is me out. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful, had a lovely weekend. Spirit is currently playing. Hello, you heard your name, didn't you? Come and say hello to everyone, the millions of people out there watching. Come on then. Come on then. He's a good girl. Yeah, I mentioned her name. She knows her name. When you mention her name, she does look at you and quite often meow at you. Spirit. Spirity cat. How are you, my lovely? So this is me and Spirit saying, oh, you're not in the mood to be picked up today, are you? Sometimes she is, sometimes she isn't. She is pretty much her own little spirit. Oh, she's purring. She's purring. Right, so take care guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend and a wonderful next week. Oh, I am doing one trip to London next week. I'll tell you about that next week. Take care guys. Bye.